Hello folks, it's Perry again, and we're back in the garage. Right here I've got the big old V10 sitting on the engine stand, and I'm going to deviate a little bit from what I told you the next video was going to be. I said I was going to be working on the wiring harness in the next video, but to be perfectly honest, I made up the wiring diagram. I've got this really pretty diagram with pictures and colors and stuff like that. But my heart just isn't in that because I've got other things to do, and today I'm going to tear down all the rockers. I got the tool. So this tool right here is the OEM Tools brand knockoff of the OTX valve spring compressor for the 3-valve Triton motors. I don't know if this works on the 2-valve motors, but it's designed for the 3-valve Triton motors, and it's about half the price of the OTC tool. This one was about 32 bucks. I looked at some of the others. You can find them as cheap as 18 bucks, but they have bad reviews about, this piece just bending the first time you use it. So this part right here, I had a good look at it, and it does look like a forging to me. The machining, it's okay. It's definitely heat treated. It's not, it's not spaghetti that's pressed into a metal shape. So I think it'll probably do the trick. We'll have to see. I've got to compress 29 valve springs right now to get all the roller followers out, and I'm going to pull probably all of the lash adjusters out as well and inspect those. But yeah, we'll see. I will set you up and we'll try this out. Let's get this valve cover off. Okay, woo. So, let's have a look-see in here. Yeah. Somebody didn't keep up with their maintenance schedule. So, there be part of the problem. Let me see if I can bring you in for a little better view here. Ooh, not happy, are you? So, yeah, we have carnage on this valve, and that lobe right there is the one that was missing its rocker. So we're going to do a little inspection on our teardown, make sure we don't have any broken valve springs, and let's see if we can get a good spot down there. I can see the retainer down in there. Let me see if I can get a flashlight on that subject. Down in there. Yeah, we don't have a rocker right there. Yep. See how much play. I don't got any play in that one that I can feel. Well, that's interesting. Well, I guess not. So these are the old style rockers. Let me try to show you here. So the the hole right here through the rocker does not have like a little jet pointing at the roller here. The later style rockers have a little jet that points to the roller, and the older style just have the through holes. So this motor was remanned in 2012, and the new style rockers have the hole in. Those new style rockers would have been part numbered for 2012. They wouldn't have existed. So they must have reused the original rockers when they rebuilt this motor. That's what I'm guessing. Now I just noticed something. There is a rather significant amount of lash in this timing chain right here. Let me show you what I'm seeing here. And I think you can kind of see that. The question is, in the odometer, the instrument panel on this truck had 235,000 miles. I can see the tensioner there. You know, here's the thing. I'm not going to worry about it because those tensioners are oil operated. So this is probably going to have a little bit of slop in the timing chain until the oil pressure builds up, and then it'll tighten up. So there's no evidence of it hitting the case there, so I'm not going to worry about it. Let's just get the rest of these rockers off of here. Oh, you're kidding me. You have to take this off. You have to take the balancer shaft off to be able to take all of those rockers out. Okay, there's a mark there, which means, so that's a 2-to-1. So the camshaft spins at half speed, but then it looks like the diameter of the gear on the camshaft is twice the size of the gear on the balancer shaft, so that would imply the balancer shaft spins at twice the speed of the camshaft, which would be the same speed as the crankshaft. So this is in phase with the crankshaft, except because this is a 2-to-1, that means that this spins 2 times for every time the camshaft spins, which means there's 2 synchronization points on the camshaft. Yeah, I can see one of the synchronization marks right there. So I'm just going to pull that off and not worry. There we go. Intake. Yeah, no problem with that intake. Yeah, I have to wonder about these engines. Is it lack of maintenance that causes failures of these roller followers? Or is it inherently a flawed design? I question that because if the failure mode for these engines is rockers or roller followers that fail and then take out the camshaft and potentially drop a valve, etc. If that's the failure mode, then why do they all have the same failure mode? Is it just all of them have, they all just fail because of lack of maintenance, oil changes? Or is it because it's an inherently flawed design. Yeah, I feel a little bit of slop in that second roller follower. That's the cylinder where it lost the roller follower. So I really question why these all have the same failure mode. Well, I'm going to finish pulling this whole side, and I'll turn the camera back on if I find something interesting. Otherwise, it's just going to be more of the same. There is the carnage. Now, I didn't find any more problems in the rest of the motor. The rest of the rollers all looked fine, with the exception of this roller right here, which was on that same cylinder. It was just a tad bit loose. And you can kind of see it's been kind of riding around a little bit. I haven't pulled the hydraulic lash adjusters out yet, but I'll get to that. My main concern was just inspecting all of the rollers. The right side didn't have any problems. Left side had this roller just laying somewhere. It was actually like, I don't remember if it was down here, I think it was down at the bottom. But anyway, got all the rollers out. The tool worked fine. I can recommend that OEM Tools brand spring compressor. Works fine, doesn't bend. You know, it's just made a little cheaper than probably the OTC tool. But anyway, I'm gonna cut it off here, and I will probably bring you back when I start working on that camshaft. You can see the worst of it there. I would guess those are probably a couple thousandths deep, maybe a little bit more. But they're in the middle of the cam. You know, as nice of a job as I was able to get with this thing, yeah, if I saw that on a bearing race, I'd say, yeah, that's not real long from being catastrophic failure. So if you saw that on a tapered cone bearing on like an axle, you'd say, yeah, that's got a lot of miles on it. I think it's time to replace it. If you saw that on an axle shaft, on like say a 8.8 with the where the axle itself is the inner race, that's a semi-floating axle, you would say, yeah, good thing I caught it before it completely trashed, you know. So I'm thinking probably the best thing to do, you know, I gave it my best effort. I didn't want to take too much material off of it, and I didn't, but I think we're going to call it. I think we're going to replace the camshaft. And so that adds about 150 bucks. If I go with the milling rollers, I'm looking at 300 for the rollers, 150 for the camshaft, which is a little bit sparse. It seems like you can find right side camshafts all day long, but left side camshafts are a little tougher to come across. So this, I think, is going to be a put a fork in it moment and evaluate. I mean, I'm not stopping the project. The motor is still good. It ran. I'm sure most of its, you know, poor running had to do with the motor being from being sitting there with bad plugs in it. But you know, it is what it is. I paid less for this motor than you would pay for a core in a junkyard. So, I mean, it runs, it just needs a little bit of TLC. It's unfortunate, yeah. I didn't get to hear the motor run before I bought it because there was just a myriad of problems with the truck. Yeah, I think we're going to call it on this. I'm going to put the valve covers back on, keep trash out, and I'm going to start shopping for a camshaft. So, and if the camera work's been a little weird, it's because I'm trying out a gimbal I bought for Christmas. So, I don't know. I think it would probably be a lot better if I was a filmmaker and I was filming other people, but filming myself, I don't know that the gimbal is going to be such a good tool, but we'll see. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.